oriented oriented professional with 20 years in light manufacturing, value-added quick turn environment. He has extensive customer service and team building experience, and his experience in identifying and implementing solutions, lean manufacturing, staff development, and increased productivity by incorporating Six Sigma. In 2008, Jeff Morris founded CareerDFW, a website that is created to assist the unemployed and underemployed in the DFW area. And I won't read his entire biography because he may get a little embarrassed here, but I'll pick out a few things. In October 2012, or September 2012, he was invited to the White House for a forum on job clubs and career ministries in Washington, D.C. And then that 1 month after that, October 2012, then he launched CareerUSA.org. So websites that helps people in job search outside of the DFW Metroplex. So he also, since 2007, he facilitates the North Dallas and Plano career focus group that meets every Friday morning in Plano. And so he's helped literally thousands of people in job search. And so today, Jeff is going to be talking to us and letting us know how to use the websites that he has developed, as well as sharing his wisdom related to job search through his own journeys, as well as how the vast number of people that he has helped. Good grief now, almost 15 years. So Jeff, thank you for being here today, and we'll turn it over to you.
Clayton, thank you very, very much. Yeah, it is hard to believe it's been, 13 plus years. And it's looking back upon it, I mean, it's been great, but it's just pretty amazing. All right, so what I plan to do today is I'll tell you a little background about me, how I got started. I mean, Clayton sort of told you some of the highlights, how I got involved in the career game. My background is I don't have a degree in human resources or any of that kind of stuff. We'll tell you a little history about CareerDFW and CareerUSA. We'll take a look at the websites live. In fact, I've noticed this morning that I did an upgrade to both the websites from a security standpoint, and some things are now broken. So I'll be spending the week trying to unbreak whatever the security updates did. So you'll notice a few things are broken, and I'll mention them as we get going here. Then after that, we may take a small break. If we don't take a break, I'm going to go into the 4 areas of your career search that I think you need to focus on. And if you've got questions, I'll stop a couple of times and we'll get your questions answered for you. All right, so my background is, Clayton said, I've got 20 plus years in light manufacturing, general manager, operation manager, director of operations. Always wanted to work for a small company, 100 employees or less, because I wanted to get to know everybody. I wanted to make it a fun place to be. I mean, when you're working with people 8, 10, 12 hours a day, hopefully you get to know people, and hopefully your manager gets to know who you are as a person, just not as an employee. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. The group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007. When Clayton says, who wants to take this group over, remember to sit on your hands, because I did this. And they said, okay, Jeff, you're it, because I raised my hand up just a little bit. So just be careful. But we meet every Friday morning at 9:30, and you're welcome to join us anytime. CareerDFW started it on November 17th, 2008. And the reason for it is because I saw this need. So I was leading the group in 2007, my North Dallas group in 2007. And I noticed that it was, how did you find out about other organizations? There wasn't a place to go out there and know where the other groups were meeting. I mean, there's not a sign out in front of the church in Fort Worth saying, hey, come here this morning at 9 o'clock. Most churches don't put a sign up saying, if you're unemployed, come join us at whatever time the group's meeting at. So I thought, we need a website that sort of puts everything together in one place. So that's why I launched CareerDFW.org. If you happen to type in CareerDFW.com, it'll take you to CareerDFW.org. CareerDFW, 8 months after we launched, became a Texas nonprofit corporation. I didn't accept any donations until the IRS said that we were truly a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So it was important for me to become a 501c3. I wanted everybody to know that we follow all the rules and regulations of the IRS. It's not very often that you're excited about getting a letter from the IRS in your mailbox, but I remember that day, this thick letter from the Department of Internal Revenue Services, getting it, and it's just like, and I've still got that envelope and that letter. It's just, it's pretty nice to be able to, a nice accomplishment. The application is 32 pages long. It has a 107-page instruction booklet at a time. And the fact that I got it on the first time without any mistakes, I think is I was pretty excited about that. All right, I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or if you see me in person, you can get it from me in person. All the proceeds from the book go to support CareerDFW. It's just, I had learned so much stuff. I'm sure like Clayton's learned all these things, and all the career group leaders have learned all these things because they're doing this on a weekly basis. I had to do a brain dump. I had too much stuff in my brain. I had to get stuff out. My brain right now is about 70% full. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to start writing some stuff down so that I can get it out of my brain, maybe for a second book. More things I've learned about your job search you may not know. In September 20th, 2012, I got invited to go to the White House Forum on Job Clubs and Career Ministries. It was really a cool event. There were 110 people all from all over the United States, from Florida to California to New York. And it was a lot of panel discussions. It was very, very interesting to hear the good things that was going on in other communities. There is a place on the website if you want to read more about it. You can go back and find out about it. In October 12th, or in October 2012, I launched CareerUSA.org. I had owned the name for a while, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. But when I came back from the White House conference, I really realized that there was nobody else in the country, and I still don't believe this to this day, that there's anybody else doing anything like CareerDFW in the country. They're doing things for their own little church or their own little workforce office, but not thinking about the whole community and putting everything out there, how they can help the community. So I decided to sort of split up CareerDFW. All the generic stuff went to the Career USA website. Everything specific for the Dallas-Fort Worth area stayed on CareerDFW. And I'll show you both of those here in just a couple minutes. How does CareerDFW survive? We survive by volunteers like you. Like it says right there in yellow, you're the eyes and ears of the websites. If you see something, say something. If you know something that's not on the website, please let me know. If you see a mistake, please let me know about it. I want to make sure these things are updated. I'm trying to, I don't know everything and I can't see everything. I don't know about all the job fairs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you happen to hear about something, I'd rather find out about it 10 or 15 times from different people than to have never put it on the website so people couldn't find it. So if you see something, please say something. We have no employees, no full-time, no part-time employees. Everything I've done over the last 13 and a half years has been as a volunteer. I'm just here to help you land your next great opportunity. CareerDFW survives on donations. It pays for the business cards and flyers back when we were meeting in person and actually handing out business cards, the web hosting, the web names, any of the filings I have to do, all that stuff helps to, all the donations help to support those things. The very first year I had to put in the first couple $1,000, but since then donations have kept things going on a yearly basis. Also, as I said before, all the proceeds from the book go to support CareerDFW. At the same time we started the websites, we started LinkedIn groups. LinkedIn is very, very important. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Currently in the CareerDFW LinkedIn group, which we started at the same time we started the website, over 13,500 members. If you're not part of our group, please join it. You do not have to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to join that group, but you're welcome to join both groups. The Career USA LinkedIn group I started at the same time we started the Career USA website. We do have a Facebook page, so you're welcome to follow us on Facebook, CareerDFW Facebook page. We do broadcast a lot of our webinars and workshops there. And then you're also welcome to subscribe to our Career USA YouTube channel. On the Career USA YouTube channel, currently there's over 290 workshops that have been recorded over the last couple of years. If you subscribe to it, every time we post a new video, you'll find out about it, and you can go back and watch anything as often as, detailed as you'd like. So let's take a look at the two websites. Let me share a different screen here. All right, I'm going to be looking at it's going to be weird if you're looking at my little picture here, but I'm looking at a second monitor here. So this is the CareerDFW website. There's a couple different banners that go across the top. So here's one of the broken things right now that I just found out, is that the tip of the week is not updating correctly. It's not pulling it from the Career USA website. So I'll be working on that today. So I have noticed that. If you're trying to find a networking group who's meeting online in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can click right here. If you lost your job, or you know somebody who just lost their job recently, have them, tell them about it. They click right here. I've got a one-page article with a lot of other links and great one-page or great checklist on how to get started in their job search. If you know somebody's been working for 20 years and they don't know what to do and they're lost, this is a great place to get started in their job search. I thought it was important that you know that you're not the only person out there looking for a job. So I put a little count on here. This updates every time. Every web page you go to, it updates the amount of people on the website. So just be aware, you'll see that number change all the time. Just, a little bit of advertisement right here underneath career resources. Underneath the CareerDFW training, these are the live workshops that we're putting on. So today, here's finding out about CareerDFW. This is where we're at right now. And then these are workshops that are coming on up later this week. The Zoom links are all there. So if you ever want to join us at 1 o'clock on Thursdays, or 1 o'clock Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just click here and you'll be able to find the link to join us if you're not part of our mailing list. If you want to join our CareerDFW LinkedIn group, you see how it changes to a hand. If you click here, it'll take you to the Join Now page. If you'd like to join the Career USA list, you can LinkedIn group, you click right here. If you're interested in a copy of the book, you can find out more information here to do that. And if you'd like to donate, there's a place down here at the very, very bottom. So across the top, calendar groups, the About Us section. So we're going to go to the calendar section next. And there's a couple different ways to look at the calendar. We can look at it graphically or the agenda view. We'll look at both of them. And this is really sort of the reason why the website's there, because it's trying to find a place to make it easy for find people with the events that are going on in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. For those of you who are outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just sit tight. We'll get to Career USA in just a second. So here are all the different events that are going on. The yellow is today, the red line is the current time. So you can click across here, you can see the different events that are happening. At the very top, especially for the men out there, these are called instructions. I know you don't read them, but in case you can't figure out what's going on, this is a color code, and all the different logos talks about how you can do things and where you can get the different things here. So pink are job fairs. There doesn't, as far as I know, there's no job fairs this week. The gold or special workshops that are happening. So you can see today, here's a gold event, which is where we're at right now. You can see the gold events coming up later in the week. Blue are networking meetings. Now, these are career networking meetings that are meeting in person that I'm aware of. So here's one here, which is the Fort Worth section, okay? And then in purple are webinars, teleseminars. So this is also a webinar. So this same event is also in purple because it's a webinar. So that's why you can see different things. You can go click on whatever you'd like. You can get more information on different things that are going on. As you can see, a lot of things are purple. There weren't a lot of purple things before COVID, but everybody has gone to webinars now, and makes it easy because now we can incorporate anybody around the United States or anybody around the globe now can jump in on one of our webinars. All right, so let me point out a few things on the calendar here. Here's a couple little tabs up here at the very top. If you click on that little right arrow, you see it says next period. Next period, here's what's going on next week. So you can look ahead, you can see what's happening the following week. So it's like, here's a job fair that's going on that you can click on and find out more information. We can go back here till the today, which always takes you back to the current week, which is what's happening here. You can print this calendar out, but be very, very careful. You could kill a lot of trees because there's lots of information buried in here, because I'm going to put as much information as I know about in every event. So you may just be very, very careful. Let me just point out a couple of things about these events that are listed here. Be sure to scroll down to get all the information, because sometimes the Zoom link is down here towards the very, very bottom. And let me move down the page down a little bit here. There's something on everything that says more detail. There is never more detail. I have put all the details in the window there. So you're never going to find more details if you were to click on it. The other thing is right next to it says copy to my calendar. This is a Google Calendar. If you're using a Google Calendar and you want to go to this event, you can click on this and it will add it to your Google Calendar. So you don't have to sit there and retype workshops or anything that's going on. You can just click right here if you're using a Google Calendar and it'll copy it right in. All right, so this is the week view. For those who have a Google Calendar, you know there's a day view and a 2-day or a 3-day view. Google doesn't allow a third party to be able to show a calendar like this in that mode. I wish they did. The month view is a real waste of time, as you can tell, because all it does is here's Monday, or here's Valentine's Day, and there's 7 more events. Here's Tuesday, 19 more events. So it doesn't really help you at all. But the agenda view is very, very useful, because what it does is here's the first event for the day, and then you can go through and see everything. Everything is in the same color codes. It's up top here. So, you'll see here Fort Worth Career Search Networks listed twice. The blue event means it's in person. The purple event means it's a webinar, because it means you can watch it via Zoom. And then here is me saying that you can find out about using CareerDFW and Career USA as a special third event. You can click, you can open any of these up that you want. It takes you all to the same thing. Now, I will say, if you're trying to find a place that's meeting in person, you can click here on map and it will open up Google Maps and you can figure out how to get there. So all that information is right there. And like I said, it's all there for you. You can go click on whatever you'd like and it will get you, to the information. Click it once to open it, click it again to close it. And you can scroll down and you can see what's going on tomorrow, the next day, the next day. Now, I do want to point out this little down arrow, and this is a really handy function over here. What this allows you to do is look at all the different layers of the calendar. So you can go and eliminate things. So we're going to eliminate professional, business groups, webinars. We'll leave the holiday on there. So now we're only looking at job fairs, holidays, and special workshops that are going on. And so now you see the calendar is got a lot less. You look at next week, here's a special event, and then here's a web job fair that's going on. Here's another job fair going on and stuff. So it makes it a little bit easier to view. If we go back to the week calendar, you can also see, oh, look at this. It's a lot easier to view the calendar to see what's going on in future weeks. Now, if you want, you can always go back and add whatever you'd like. So let's go put the webinars back on there. You can see all the different Zoom webinars that you can attend. So you can't say there's something not going on every day that you can be involved with, that you can get active and be part of a different group and find out about more about your career and how to help. All right, I also want to point out over here on most of these other pages, all the sub pages, here's a LinkedIn button that'll take you to the LinkedIn group. In this case, because it's CareerDFW, it'll take you to the CareerDFW LinkedIn page. This will take you to our Facebook page. We are on Twitter. We don't tweet a whole lot, but we are on Twitter. We do have an Instagram post. If you like to follow us on Instagram, please click there and you can click on follow. And this last one here is the YouTube button. You're welcome to join us. And like I said, subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can see any of the past videos. Like this video today, I will post up after the meeting's over and people can go back and watch it at their convenience. If you'd like to help us out, you can donate via PayPal or via mail if you want to send a check or something in, how you can help us out. All right, let me go back to the home page here on the calendar page just to point this out. So the CareerDFW calendar consists of many layers, okay? So the everything calendar is what we were looking at, but if you only want to see job fairs, you can click here, but you would only see that one layer. You can't add other ones back in. If you just want to see networking groups that are meeting in person, click on this one here that's meeting the career networking groups. If you just want to see webinars, you can just see webinars, teleseminars, radio, TV shows listed here, and you would only see that one particular layer. So just FYI, that's sort of how this whole thing works. If you know of an event that's not happening, that you don't see on the calendar, you want me to add it, please let me know. calendar@careerdfw.org will get that event to me and I will get it added. All right, the next tab over is the group tab. And this was really the first page that I built on the website. So this really is the oldest part of it. All the networking groups that I know about, all the career workshops, any of the groups that meet like a 4, 6, 8-week program and it repeats every 8 or 12 weeks. All the workshops are listed here. Not really important right now, but networking groups meeting on a Google map. If you're trying to find groups that meet in your local area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can click here and you'd be able to see a map that has all that information on it. This is a list I think everybody needs to check: professional organizations. If you click on it, here's a list of groups, and it's about 18 pages long if you were to print it out, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, of places that you can go network with people who are employed. People, whatever you do, there's a group that meets. Find this group. Don't forget, check out your college alumni associations. UT, Baylor, they all have great alumni associations. Network with those people. Insurance professionals, Dallas Business Club, HR people. So there's tons and tons of different groups that you can go back and find things on here. I also happen to list, let's see here, where did I put it at? I think the JCs are listed on here. Don't forget about, any group that you can go meet other people. Very, very, very important. Okay, so that's the group tab. The professional groups, very, very important to find that information out. All right, the last tab I'm going to point out, I'm going to skip some of the little sections here just to sort of make things easy. This is the About section. Now, it's weird to put an About section in the middle tab if you're building a website, but the Resource tab, Tip of the Week, Job Board, and Humor section are all on Career USA. So if you were to click on one of these, it will launch a new window and open up Career USA. But here's just a little section about why I'm doing what I'm doing. There's links here that you can go back and find other information. If you'd like to find out more information about my trip to the White House, you can click here. You'll see who else was there, LinkedIn profiles, pictures, our history, a running blog of our history I've kept here. This You Said We Did. When you send me those nice comments, thank you for the website. It really was a big help. I go and I stick it here because when it's 11, 12 o'clock at night and I should be in bed, but I'm updating something or trying to fix something that's gone wrong on the website, this is where I go to remind myself why I do it. Those are the little pat on the backs you send me, and I really appreciate it. Our mission statement, our goal, we've been in the news a few times, and those are listed here. If you've got a website, you're welcome to add logos to our links to our website. Here, we've got a whole series of buttons you can do. And then if you need to email us, here is 3 emails addresses. One of the 3 of us, me, myself, or I, will be glad to get back. We'll get back to you with our information. We'll take care of whatever you got. So just pick an email address. It all comes back to me, and I'll make sure we get those things updated and fixed for you. All right, so as I said, the Resource tab, Tip of the Week, Job Board, and Humor section are all on the Career USA website. It looks like this. I will back up and say, as you can tell, CareerDFW is in orange. Orange happens to be my favorite color. I grew up as a kid in Louisville, Kentucky. The only football game we got to watch on a weekly basis because of regional football was the Cincinnati Bengals. So I was a little disappointed yesterday, but that's okay. They played a really good game. It was just nice to see how far they got. But orange is just my favorite color. You will find me drinking an orange Fanta if we happen to go out to eat. If they have Fanta, that's what I will be drinking. But when I built Career USA, I thought I better stick red, white, and blue. So that's sort of what I've done here. For some reason, the tip of the week works just fine here. So every week there's a new career tip of the week. I'll talk about that in just a second. If you know somebody just lost their job, they can click here for help. Here's another section that is broken, and I don't know why, and I'm gonna have to go figure out why this information is not popping up. So I will be working on that in the next couple days. It's the same information that's on the CareerDFW website. If you'd like to get any of our training sessions, you click right here in the middle. You can get right to it if you're not part of our mailing list, but I'll give you a mailing list address if you'd like to join us. Same information over here. Oh, here's something else that's gone goofy. These little things here should be above the book, not below the book. So there's something else I've got to. The security update has messed up many things as you update a website. But the website's the exact sort of same layout. Now, the difference here, if we go to the group tab, these are groups around the United States that I have found, that I have, people have told me about. So if you're looking for groups in Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, if you clicked on Dallas-Fort Worth, where do you think it may take you? Back to the CareerDFW website. But these are just other groups that I have found around the United States. If you know a group that's been in your area that maybe you've been part of back from your hometown, please let me know about it. If they're still around, I'd love to add it on the list to make it easy for people to be able to find people. The resource tab. This is really the bulk of the website. This is like a giant file cabinet. I've always wanted to come up with a logo or come up with a graphic that you click on a file cabinet and the drawer opens up, and then there are all these little tabs, and the tabs would be career files, websites, resources, videos. And then you click on that, then it opens up a bunch of little subcategories that gets you to all the different information that's on here. There's probably 600, 700, 800 articles in this section here with great information about your job search, how to network, how to use LinkedIn, resumes, how to build a resume, what should be on your business card, name tags, just everything, interview questions with the answers. If you ever have a interview at American Heart Association, I understand they do something called a SIDS interview, CIDS. I forget what it stands for, but I've got the 56 questions that they may ask you, and I know of 2 different people that have had interviews there, and they said, yes, it was with multiple people, and the first person asked questions 1 through 10, the next one asked questions 11 through 20, the third one asked, and I had all the questions right in front of me, so I knew what they were going to ask me before they even asked me. So, you know, try to get that stuff on there because you do need to prepare for an interview. Websites that we recommend, websites that have been recommended to us by you. If you don't know what a spider site is, those are listed here. Job boards by profession, salary sites, where to go find out about how to find out research on a salary, because that question is going to come up in an interview and you need to be able to answer it with some data, with some real information. So if you're a veteran, we've got resources for veterans, and then all the videos that we've got located on the Career USA YouTube channel. If you click here, we've got a lot of details and a lot of the handouts from those videos. So, you know, a lot of our videos talk about the instructor will have a handout. All that stuff is listed right here under this category. The career tip of the week. This is also known sometimes as Jeff's pet peeve, because sometimes when we were meeting in person, I remember one Friday, a gentleman came to me and said, Jeff, I had a great interview on Wednesday, and they asked for my references, and I gave my references. Do you think I should contact my references and let them know they may be contacted? Well, yes, that would be a very, very good idea. So I came home and wrote a tip of the week. Most of these tips are by other people, but you can go through every week. You can read it. They're 3 to 5 minutes long. Hopefully they're like that V8 moment where you read it and go, wow, why didn't I think of that? What a simple thing I could do. So my favorite tips are over here in the very right-hand side under archived tips. And I point out this first one here, all about name tags. When you do get to start meeting back in person again, you want to make sure that you have a name tag. This is what I use, nice and big that somebody can read. The nice thing about having a name tag too is on the back of it, I can keep my vaccination card right here. So I've always got it with me ready to go when I'm meeting with somebody. And I have a couple name tags. I keep one in my car, I keep one in my travel bag, I keep one in my portfolio. So that way I've always got one ready to go wherever I'm at. So all that information is right here about name tags. I just think they're very, very important. The handwritten name tags, do not use them because you don't write neatly and your name's not big and easy to read. Look professional. But then here are my other little career tips that I think are really good. And if you want to go all the way back to 2009, when I started doing this, you can go back and read all the tips that have been there. There's about 45 to 50 tips every year that we go when we post. So you're welcome to go back and read that. The job board. This is something I wish that would permanently break, but it hasn't broken yet. I don't like this job board. I'm looking for a new one. I've actually bought a new website called CareerUSAJobs.org. And at some point, the job board will move over to CareerUSAJobs.org. But my rules are jobs only stay posted for 21 days and they go away. So I'm sure you've been to some websites, jobs could be 6 months old. And I just think that that's really bad. So 21 days and the job is gone. Somebody around the United States has found this website, North Carolina. This is the most current job that's been posted. You know, Texas, South Carolina. You can see jobs that are all the way over. So let's see. So those are the first 30 jobs. There's currently 306 jobs on the website. The easiest way to use this, don't use the search function because it's broken. But the easiest way to use the job board here is to pick, you can go through here and pick a category. So there's 13 banking jobs. There's one job customer service, one engineering job. A lot of these are just manual or basic entry-level jobs that are on here. If you can go through and you can pick a category, and so whatever category you're interested in, there's one maintenance job, one insurance job. If you click on that, you will only see what's in that particular category. So that's the best way to use the job board at this point. The humor section, looking for a job is hard work. If you ever get to work for me on a Friday morning, I would always send out the Friday Funnies, sort of a fun humor cartoon to sort of make us laugh every Friday to give us something to do. When we were rebuilding the websites, I asked the people who were helping me, hey, can you give me a pair of eyeballs to go back and forth and say, hey, what are you doing on this page right now? It's between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday. You should be out looking for a job. So I wanted a big, you know, the Groucho Marx, fuzzy eyebrows and funny nose and stuff, but we didn't have time to get to that involved with this. But you can still, if you need to, you can still scroll down and get to all these events. Lots of jokes and cartoons. Here, how dare you interview without chewing gum? You know, you insulted me by not being in an interview, not chewing gum because you're at a bubblegum factory. You know, so there's all sorts of little humorous. All these cartoons are all about interviewing. My favorite one, here's the one from IKEA. Let's see here. I always thought this was a great cartoon if you're going to interview at IKEA. So that's the humor section. Don't go there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Go out and network and be working on your job search. But after hours, if you need that little pick-me-up, you can go check out some of the funny cartoons that are there, or jokes and videos that are there. The About Us section is just like CareerDFW. A lot of it links back to the CareerDFW website. So I wasn't going to update both of them for the same information. So those are the websites. I'll stop if you have any questions before I move on. If anybody has any questions about the websites, you're welcome to ask away right now. Otherwise, we'll move on. Any questions? Nope, nope. All right, Clayton, do you want me to take a little break here, or do you want me to keep on going?
You guys like a break? You're okay. I think we're ready to go ahead and move on.
Okay, we will move on here. Let me get to my second part of the presentation. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to talk about the 4 main areas of your job search you really need to focus on, okay? I've been doing this for 13 years, and I see that there's things that people need to do, and they sort of need to sort of do things a little bit in order. So the first thing you need to do is you've got to focus on your resume. You've got to have a good resume. The second area is once you get your resume done, you've got to make sure your LinkedIn profile is populated. The third part is you've got to practice your interviewing skills. because no resume, no LinkedIn profile is going to get you hired into a job. What's going to get you the job is your interviewing skills. And the last thing we'll talk about briefly is networking. So what I'm going to talk about today is about 20% of everything, maybe 10% of everything you can know about your job search. If we had a week or many, many sessions, and if you keep coming back to all these things, this is what we could have talked about, you know, in the more detail and to really analyze what it is. So I'm just sort of I'm covering sort of the highlights here. All right. One of the things when COVID hit and all these networking groups stopped meeting, and I had a Zoom account, so I went ahead and started focusing on those 4 areas. And we said, okay, what can we do, you know, to put webinars out? So every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we do a LinkedIn presentation. Every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we do a interview session. Every Thursday, the first and third Thursday, we talk about effective resumes. The second and fourth Thursday, we talk about networking. And then the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group on Friday morning. Everything we do, as long as the speaker allows it, is recorded. It's on the Facebook page, and then it goes up on the Career USA YouTube channel. So the first area we're going to talk about is all about resumes. You know, and I see this happen all the time. I remember specifically all the stories I'm going to tell you. These are all true stories that come from my Friday group when we were meeting in person. We had a lady who was coming for months and months and months. And I kept asking, how's your job? Well, I'm still working on my resume. I don't have it perfected yet. She had analysis paralysis. She was just so focused on trying to come up with the perfect resume, it didn't happen. So my first question is, do you have a master resume? Hey, Jeff, what's a master resume? A master resume is everything you've ever done in your job search, in your job career since high school. It can be 10, 15, 20 pages long. You put everything on there, all your, you know, who the supervisor was, the street address of where you worked at, maybe even list some coworkers, 8 or 10 or 15 bullet points of your accomplishments when you worked at that job. So you have that master resume. Then when you see a job description, you save your master resume as, save it as whatever you're naming to keep track of stuff. And then you start eliminating everything that's not in the job description. Because when your resume is being evaluated by either an ATS system or by a human, they have a job description and they're trying to find something that matches. So what is it that you can do that matches? You want to make sure your resume matches the job description. You've got to remember that your resume is just a hook. A resume doesn't get you a job. You've got to customize every resume you send out. Very, very important. I know there's a person who says, I never send a resume out until I have had a discussion with either somebody in HR or somebody who the hiring manager is, because I want to know what their needs are. Because if I know what their needs are, I can make sure I customize my resume. Be sure to keep the details of the job description, because that is very, very important. You want to make sure that your bullet points have results. Results sell. I see so many resumes that read like a job description. It's fine. This is what you were supposed to do, but all right, so you did this, but what was the result? So what? So you want to make sure that every bullet point has either dollars, percent, or numbers. And everybody can come up with something. Everything you do can be measured somehow. You know, you worked on X number of drawings, on X number of projects over a 2-month period. You saved the company X number of dollars, you whatever. I mean, I had a receptionist once say, well, you know, I just answered the phones. I said, well, how many phone lines do you have coming in? Oh, we have 8 phone lines. Okay. How many phone calls do you get a week? Oh, about 400. And how many people you distribute those phone calls to? Oh, there's 23 people here. There you go. There is numbers that you can use. It tells me what it is you can do. It tells me more than I just answered the phone. As I said, for resumes, do not blindly send out a resume. Because when you send out a resume, it says, help me, help me, help me. I'm unemployed. I need a job. Okay. You do not want to post your resume on LinkedIn, because once again, what are you posting? You're posting a generic resume. And how do you know that that's what they're looking for? You may not be matching the job title. You may not be matching some of the specific things that they want to do. One of the things that I highly recommend in networking is a one-page bio. This is a book that I recommend at every career talk I give. It's called Be Sharp. This is by Minna Brown and Paula Asnoff. You can get it on Amazon. It's like 18, 19 bucks, I think. Be sure to get the second edition, because the second half, or the second edition, they expanded the amount of bios in it. They have like over 30 or 40 different bios that you can see that different people have put together, that you can get an idea on how you can put your bio together and why you should have a bio. The whole first half of the book's great also because it talks about how do you tell somebody what it is you do, your 30-second introduction. How do you make it a meaningful conversation? So, you know, there's only like 3 books that I recommend in the job search. This is one of them. My book's the second one. And the third one is Strength Finders or Clifton Strengths if you haven't done it. I think those are the 3 biggest books in your job search that will really, really help you out. Your resume on an ATS system, you've got to make sure that you do not use any special characters or any special formatting. Don't use the header or footer sections in Microsoft Word because most ATS systems won't read it. And you've got to make sure that the keywords align to the job description. That's the whole, you know, if you take one thing away from today is keywords matter, results matter. You've got to have keywords that match the job description. You've got to have results that sell you into the job to get that phone call. There are well over 100 different ATS systems out there. They don't all work the same way. Some systems like hyperlinks. Some systems don't like hyperlinks. So you want your resume, if you're going to fill out an applicant tracking system, make it as plain and simple as you can. Like I said, you want to make sure to focus on results and accomplishments. On your bullet points, underneath your resume, you've got bullet points. Take that bullet point, read it out loud and say, so what? Did I answer somebody's question about what was the result of that bullet point? This is one of the biggest issues I also see in interviewing, that people they'll tell me what they did, but they don't tell me what the result of what it was. So it's just very, very important. And the other good thing is most resumes are not read, they're scanned. They read the first 3 to 5 words of the bullet point. So if you can, start every bullet point with an action verb, because that will pull somebody in to want to read it a little bit more. So if you'd like to join us every first and third Thursday of the month, in fact, this Thursday being the first Thursday, or the third Thursday of the month, we'll be talking about resumes. We have different experts this week. Our resume expert is Alan Alsett, who is the managing partner of a recruiting firm here in the DFW area. He'll be talking about the resumes and things that he likes and sees in the DFW, you know, in his search. So you're welcome to join us for that workshop. 1 o'clock Thursday. We will be on Facebook Live and on Zoom. All right, second section I want to talk about is LinkedIn. So you got your resume all done. You've got results. Let's move into a LinkedIn. LinkedIn has over 800 members globally. Okay, 180 million people in the United States use LinkedIn. That's half the population. Now, of the half that population, maybe 6 to 10 million people are active users. Well, there's probably a bit more. It probably could be 30 or 40 million people are active users on LinkedIn. But there are a lot of inactive people on LinkedIn. There's a lot of people who have a LinkedIn profile they put together 15 years ago or 10 years ago and never done anything since with it. So you've got to be a little bit careful. But the people who have LinkedIn profiles that don't have a lot of information, those really aren't people you want to network with because they're not actively networking. So on LinkedIn, just a little bit of history, and this is as of the first of the year. 77 job applications were submitted every second on LinkedIn. 10 million people use the open to work feature, okay? And if you're not using it, you should. 45 million people a week use LinkedIn to search for jobs. 4 people are hired every minute from LinkedIn. So you can get hired, you will get hired. I know people who get hired by using LinkedIn. There are over 57 million companies listed on LinkedIn and over 120,000 schools that are listed. So your school is going to be wherever school you went to. You should be able to network with those alumni associations. the companies that are listed, you'll be able to find that particular company. So on LinkedIn, you want your LinkedIn profile to be current and fully developed. By current, I mean, be sure you have a picture on there from the last couple years. I remember I was on a networking call with a group out of Ohio a couple months ago, and I was looking people up as they were speaking and giving their 30-second introductions, and on the other computer on my other screen, I'm pulling them up on LinkedIn. I go, well, this guy sounds like it's the same guy, but the picture sure doesn't match. And I contacted him after the session. And I said, you know, I wasn't sure if that was you or not. I said, oh yeah, that's me back when I was in my 20s. You know, he's now 45 or 50, and he doesn't look anything like his picture back then. Be sure you have a current picture, because quite frankly, if I'm going to interview you, I will look at your LinkedIn profile. And if we happen to be on the computer, you better look like what I expect you to look like. And if you've got an old picture on there, and then we come up, I'm go, well, the person must be hiding something if they're embarrassed to show me what they look like now. So have a current picture, and you want your profile to be fully developed, meaning fill in as much as you can, give people information, put those results in there. You know, does your profile tell a company how you can help them? How you can help them is by showing the results of, this is how you saved some money. This is how you were productive. These are the number of things you were able to complete on a monthly basis, or whatever it is. The results are what sells, and that's what tells somebody how you can help. Remember, a company's not hiring you because they have a lot of extra money. They're hiring you because you can fix a problem. They have a problem, you're a problem solver. When you go in, you know, the whole mindset is, how can I help you? I am here to help you solve your problems. What can I do to help you? Can somebody reach out to you easily? Oh, this is something that bugs me all the time. I see this all the time. People don't put their contact information in there. Make it easy to be found on LinkedIn, okay? You want to make sure it's in your contact information. You want to make sure that's a field, contact information. Put your phone number and your email address. You make sure in your about section, you put your phone number and your email address. Make it easy. One of our LinkedIn presenters pays $10,000 a year to LinkedIn to use the full-blown recruiting package. And when he shows us his presentation, it is so surprising to see the number of people. So it pops up, these people are open to work, but there's no way to contact them. And the last thing that this recruiter wants to do is use an InMail. The recruiter says, and all recruiters will, the first thing they want to do is they want to pick the phone up as soon as they find you and call you and see if you're interested. The second option for them is to send an email to your personal email address. The last thing they want to do is use a LinkedIn InMail, because they don't know if you're going to read it or not. So make sure your phone and email information is on there. If you don't want to put your phone number on there, get a Google Voice number. If you want to find out about Google Voice, it's free, and it will allow you to, you know, have a different phone number that will forward to your cell phone or home phone number, excuse me, whatever is best for you. So here's my LinkedIn profile. As you can see, I make it real easy. I actually put my email address and my phone number in my background photo. So people don't even have to be connected to me. They don't have to open my contact information. They don't have to open my about section. There it is right there, easy to be seen, okay? So make it easy for people to find you and reach out to you. Always send a personal note with a LinkedIn invite, okay? Do not use the generic LinkedIn connection thing. There are two types of buttons on LinkedIn. There's a white connect button and a blue connect button. A white connect button always sends the generic invitation. The blue connect button will allow you to send a personalized note. Always send a personal note. Personally, I will not connect with anybody who sends the generic invitation, because I don't know how we met. I don't know why we should connect. Send me something. Tell me you don't like my red shirt. That's fine. Just tell me something, because then I have an idea of when we first met. Even on a cell phone, you can send a personal note. This is a screenshot from an iPhone. I think they've replaced the more button with the little hamburger thing now on LinkedIn, but more, or what the little hamburger, if you click on it, you'll see over on the right-hand side, you can send a personalized invitation. So even on a cell phone, you can do that. You couldn't, years ago, you couldn't do that. It just would send the generic invitation. You want to make sure your profile's has set, you want to get it to an all-star status, okay? So to be an all-star, you have to have a current position, a location, an industry, a summary, pick at least 5 skills. You can have up to 50. You want your education and you want a photo. But Jeff, I don't have a current position. That's why I'm here at this meeting, because I'm unemployed. What do I do? So what you do for a current position is you put the date that you were unemployed, you put to present, you put for the job title, what the job title you're looking for: product manager, production manager, operation manager, whatever it is you do, put that job title or 2 or 3 job titles in that job field. And then for the company name, I recommend you put your email address and phone number. That way they know they can, here's another way they can reach out to you. And then underneath that, you list 3 or 4 things that you can do that shows what 3 or 4 of your accomplishments that show people what it is you can do and how you can help a future company. Okay, so you've now told somebody you're actively looking for a job. Okay, so that's your current job. And then when you do get a real job, just go and hide that link, or hide that job listing, because you won't need it anymore. But that's what you can currently do. You want to make sure you have a professional headshot photo. Make sure you have a good looking photo. You don't want hands on your shoulder. You don't want a busy background. Just make sure that you've got a good looking photo that represents who you are currently. Very important there, currently. Headline, you want to make sure your job title, make sure the job title is the position you're looking for. You can have up to 230 characters. Let me back up here to my thing here. Whoops. So you back up to mine right here, and you'll see that I have on here accomplished manufacturing manager, operation manager, general manager, better, faster, smarter. So I start out with an action verb. I list 2 or 3 job titles that I would be interested in. I put a little saying, and then I also say that I'm a speaker at career workshops and seminars. So, you can have up to 220 characters here. So put 2 or 3 job titles. This field is a major field for job search when people are looking for you. Open the new job opportunities. So in the settings, you want to make sure that you've clicked that you're open to new job opportunities. A lot of people ask me, should they put the green banner that says open to work on there? I say yes, and this is why. It doesn't make you look desperate unless you're currently working and you don't want your current company to know. But if you're currently looking and you're unemployed, put that banner on here, and here's why. Less than 50% of recruiters pay LinkedIn for the recruiting package. I know of a firm here in Dallas that has over 30 recruiters, and none of them pay the recruiting package to LinkedIn. So how would they ever find out that you're looking for a job if you've only opened it up to recruiters only? By putting that green banner on there, and maybe by using the hashtag ONO, open to new opportunities, you have told people that you're looking for an opportunity. You told people. Also, any of your contacts who happen to see your face pop up, oh, I didn't know Joe's looking for a new job. Let me reach out to Joe. He was a great employee, whatever. So let people know you're looking for work. Put that banner on there. In your about section, this is the biggest section on LinkedIn. You have over 2,000 characters that you can put there. You want an overview of your career using keywords from your profession, and be sure to once again include your contact information. All those sections, 3 lines maximum. So just a 3-line paragraph, another 3-line paragraph, another 3-line paragraph, and go through, because remember, people scan. If you have a big, thick 15 lines of text, nobody's going to read that because people want to scan. Your experience section, you can list your job title. If your job title happens to be unusual, like I know somebody, they were like, product manager. Well, product manager of what? So in parentheses, they defined it a little bit more, saying what kind of product manager they were, what kind of program manager they were, or project manager, whatever it is. They put more detail by putting it in parentheses. If your official job title was chief people person, there's not a lot of people looking for a chief people person, but they may be looking for a director of human resources or director of talent acquisition. So you put those job titles in parentheses so that you can be found for that. Be sure to put a description of your duties and be sure to include keywords from your profession, keywords from the job descriptions you see. And it's okay to go search in LinkedIn, type in your job title, see who else pops up, look at their profile and see why do they pop up, look at their keywords and go, oh yeah, I've done that. I need to add that word to my profile. I need to add that word to my profile, because that way it'll help. Once again, keywords are very, very important. You've got to have list your education. If you have any awards, certificate, professional development, you can list books you've written. If you've got patents or sections for all that now on LinkedIn. Skills from your profession, you've got to list at least 5. I recommend 40 to 45 skills. And you need a couple of endorsements or recommendations from people. You want to make sure you have a couple recommendations, if you can, from 2020 or 2021, you want them to be fairly current. I've looked at profiles and their last recommendation from someone was from 2015. Well, that tells me a lot, that they're not very active or they don't consider it important. I would get rid of those that are that old. If you have current ones, it's fine to leave them. But if that's all you have is something from 15 years ago, better to get rid of them, because I don't think it really helps sell you into a current job. A couple of things on LinkedIn you need to do for your privacy settings. Number 1, you want to turn off viewers of this profile also viewed. Now, I'm sure that you have seen, you've looked at other people's profile, and on the right-hand side of the screen, it says other people like Jeff, and they'll list 10 other people who do the exact same thing you do. Recruiters love this, but why do you want to promote what somebody else can do? You just want to promote yourself. So turn that feature off, turn that option off. The second thing you want to make sure you turn on is you want to let recruiters know that you're open to opportunities if you're looking for a job. Another very important thing here is you want to be sure to follow any company that you're interested in. If you've applied to a company, follow that company, because on LinkedIn, if they're paying for the recruiting package, one of the options they have as they search for people, does this person follow my company? Okay. And it will move you to a smaller pool. So if they did a search and there was 1,000 people who came up and there were 200 people who were open to new opportunities, and then one of the other options that by default pops up is, there may be 55 people who actually follow the company. Well, I'm gonna look at those 55 first because they already know about the company about our company. So follow any company. On LinkedIn, you want to make sure you post, share, and like. LinkedIn keeps track of everything you do. If you're not active on LinkedIn, you're not going to show up as high in searches and when people do searches. Okay. If you can, I would post something once a week. If you see a good article about something in your field or something that's interesting, this isn't Facebook, so keep it career related. Something that's interested in your field, take that link, put it into LinkedIn. If you're going to post something, I've heard recommendations, post on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because most people, Mondays and Fridays, people are busy trying to get out for the weekend or just came back from the weekend. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the best thing to do is post Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, try to post once a week. Daily, if you can, share something. So if you see somebody else's article, you can share something. So you see an article, oh, this was a really great article, I want to share it with my network. Okay. And then if you can, like something. Try to like 3 or 4 things a day. Okay. Now I will tell you, in a group setting, if you go to your LinkedIn groups, you can only like stuff. You can't share things in a group because you're in a group. But on your main news feed is where you can share other people's ideas, and you can scroll back down. Or if you go to somebody's personal profile and you see things that they have shared or things they've posted, you can share from their personal profile. So just to let you know, because sometimes you don't see a share button. Always reply to any LinkedIn InMail. or connection request. Even if you're not interested, if they send you a personal note and you're not interested, just say thanks, but not interested. Because LinkedIn wants to see that you're active. One of the features that are, on LinkedIn for the recruiting package is, beside people open to work, are people who are active on LinkedIn. So there's 800 million people around the globe who are on LinkedIn. Last time I saw, there were only 63 million people who are actually active on LinkedIn, meaning that they're using it at least once a week, okay? And a lot of recruiters, what they're going to do is, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to narrow their bucket as they're doing their search from everybody down to those who are looking for new opportunities, down to those who are active on LinkedIn. And then they start doing their search with keywords because they know that these are people who probably will respond if I reach out to them. So we do a LinkedIn presentation every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, our speaker is Terry Sullivan from BuzzPro. I'm sure some of you know him. If you're not, he's a really, really fast talker. He is a marketing guru. He came from Verizon in their marketing department. This presentation it'll be on CareerDFW and CareerUSA.org. The problem is he does not allow his presentation to be recorded. So if you want to see, you do need to watch it live. I will be deleting it off of Facebook immediately after the presentation. So just to keep you aware that it is live only tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But we've got 4 great speakers that rotate through on a monthly basis. Tomorrow happens to be Terry Sullivan. And then the following week is the recruiter who pays $10,000. So if you can, join us the next couple of weeks. All right, the next section I want to talk about is all about interviewing. Because remember, LinkedIn and resumes don't get you a job, they only get you a phone call. What's going to get you the job are your interviewing skills. So number one, you need to be prepared for an interview. Every bullet point on your resume should have a story. You want to make sure that you write them down. I keep a bunch of index cards. So here are a bunch of index cards, and on those index cards, I have a story. So on the very beginning of it, I have what the bullet point is, and then underneath it, I actually put an S, a T, an A, and an R down the side of it. So it says, here is the situation, here is the task, here is the action that I took, and here are the results. And that way, on that card, you can sit there before an interview and you can just sort of go through and you can practice what it is you're doing. So and by writing it down, your brain will sort of remember it. If you type it up on something, it doesn't quite work as well. So, write them down. Every bullet point should have a story. The STAR method, there's SAR, there's a RATS method, tell the result first, result, action, task, situation. So whatever it is, have something that tells a good story. You've got to make sure, especially on video interviews now, you've got to keep your answers down to 45 to 60 seconds max. Because if you're more than 60 seconds, people are going to tune out. They're not going to be thinking about it. You want something very active. So you've got to have a short, very concise story. And at the end of that story, you can all say, would you like to know more? Or I can go into more detail if you're interested. And did I answer your question? So there's always answers, if they want to find out more about that. Be prepared for the following questions. I know there's one recruiter, and she will ask every candidate, why do you want to work here? And if you don't come up with a good answer, you don't move on. So you have to be prepared for that. How much did you make at your last job? Or, what's your salary requirement? I know less companies are now doing about that, but you got to be prepared to talk about what your salary requirements are. I love the 2 words, fair and equitable. Well, I've done some research, and according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, for a job with this job title in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it says that the range is somewhere between the mid-60s and the upper 90s. And I'm sure that whatever you're going to pay, or whatever your company's going to pay, is going to be fair and equitable. How can they argue with that? And I'm sure they have a pay range. So you've answered the question. So just be prepared for that question, because that will always come up. And then be prepared. Why did you leave your last job? Or the job before that, or the job before that, or the job before that? Have answers. Don't throw anybody under the bus. You've got to keep it positive. If you're not sure how to work on that. I can give you some help. I can point you to somebody who they only coach on why did you leave your last job and how to answer that question. I like this 10+1 method from the practice interview team. I've been part of the practice interview team since 2017, conducting interviews with candidates. And I love this 10+1 method, which is have 10 questions ready to ask. Every time you go to an interview, you want to have 10 of them. The goal is to get 5 of those questions answered during the interview. So instead of you having an inquisition, you're trying to have a conversation. Yeah, they ask you a question, and if you can, well, can you tell me how that works here? Or, I was thinking, that's what reminds me, how does this work? Some interviews, especially with recruiters, they've got to get through their questions before you can ask any. But when you're meeting a hiring manager or somebody, you should be able to try to have a conversation. The +1 question is the very bottom one is always ask for the job, ask for the next step. You are ready to go to work on Monday morning. Where is my desk? Always find out what the next step is going to be. Be sure at the end of an interview to express even a greater interest in the job. At the beginning, I said that, you said that you needed somebody who can do X, Y, Z. I think I've shown that I can do X, Y, and Z. I'm ready to go. How can I help you? And be sure to ask to be advanced to the next step. One of the really good questions that I really, really like is, how do I compare to the ideal candidate? Don't ask, how do I compare to the other candidates? Because I don't care about the other candidates. How do I compare to the ideal candidate at the end of an interview? I think that's really telling, because you never know. They may come up and say, well, we really need somebody who can do X. Well, we never brought up X during an interview, but I've done that. Let me give you a story about when I've done X and how I can do that for you. So hopefully you can maybe, any hesitation they have, you'd be able to answer that at the very end. If you need help with interviewing skills, reach out to the Dallas Pit Crew. They are now doing interviews online. They've been doing them online for the last 2 years now. Send a resume and a job description. It doesn't have to be a job that you're currently interviewing for. If you find the perfect job description for you anywhere, it doesn't matter. Send a job description, put together a resume that matches that job description, send it to the Dallas Pit Crew at dallaspitcrew@gmail.com, and they will conduct an interview. They do them Tuesdays at 5:30, Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, and Thursdays at 3. Tell them what time, pick 2 times that you're interested in, let them know, first and second choice, and they will do an interview with you. You also, if you need help with how did I leave my last job, or why did you leave, you can also reach out to Mark McDonald at dallaspitcrew@gmail.com, and he can do a little coaching session with you to do that. But this is just a fabulous group. It is unbelievable. It is definitely worth seeing. Something new that we're now doing in 2022. In 2020 and 2021, 2 people put together a 13-part workshop on interviewing. But for 2022, in preparation of getting back together in person, you now can watch a practice interview live. It's about 90 minutes. It's only available on Zoom. There is no recordings available. So if you want to watch it, you have to watch it live every Wednesday. But you can watch somebody else being interviewed, watch the good, the bad, the ugly, about a 45-minute interview, about 15 to 20 minutes of feedback from the panel to the interviewer. You don't get feedback a lot when you practice interviewing. And then at the end, they open it up for discussion with anybody who happens to be on the call who'd like to ask questions or make comments. So join us every Wednesday at 1 o'clock for that. Prior to that, we were doing a 13-part workshop. All of these are on the Career USA YouTube channel. The first 5 sessions are all about what to do before the interview, preparing for the interview, really deep dive. These 13 sessions consist of about 20 hours of information. So if you need some help with star stories, video interviewing, how to analyze a job description, check out one of these 5 sessions. The next 5 sessions are all about what to do during the interview. Okay, so if you need help with openings and closings and how to follow up, if you need, how to discuss compensation, how to be sure to ask questions during the interview, how to demonstrate enthusiasm, how to be enthusiastic, all that kind of stuff is in the middle 5 sessions. And the last 3 sessions are advanced topics that you can share and join and watch. The very last one, avoiding interview crashes. These were things, even though we've told you over the last 13 weeks or whatever, don't do this. These are things we see all the time that common mistakes that people make during the interview process. So session 13 is a really great presentation. Like I said, all of them on the Career USA YouTube channel. All right, the fourth topic I'm going to talk about a little bit is networking. You have got to get out and network. If you spend all day in front of a computer, I know nowadays it's important to, you're trying to be safe, but you really need to try to get out and see somebody. Go, if the weather is nice, today is going to be in the upper 60s, go and network with somebody. Meet them at Starbucks, sit outside somewhere, meet somebody outside where you can be socially distanced, but you can at least meet them face to face if you can. 5 to 10% of jobs are found online. 10 to 15% are found using recruiters. 75 to 85% of jobs are found networking. It's who do you know, who they know, and how you can network into a company, okay? So, if you can, I would encourage you nowadays to try to get out to the rest of the community. If you can be referred into a company, you have a 50% chance of getting an interview. If you fill out an online application, you have less than a 2% chance of getting an interview. There's a recruiter out of there's a speaker out of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and she just says it right up the very front. Don't waste your time applying for a job online. If you see a job you're interested in, go to LinkedIn, see how you can network your way into that job, because you have a much greater chance of getting to the hiring manager and at least getting an interview, okay? Well, it was January. It's still, I guess, not too late. You can go and send everybody today Valentine's message. Hope you're doing well, but reach out to everybody. Wish people a Happy New Year's. Wish them, a Happy Valentine's Day. Reach out to all your contacts. Let them know you're out looking for work. Here's something that one of the recruiters calls this a prayer letter. Somebody else just calls it just a great way, I think, to network. Put together an email, and I think you should have 2 different distribution lists, one for friends, family, and maybe church members or your church family. Your second one would be your professional contacts. And every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I say 3 weeks, somebody else, I like 3 weeks. 21 days gets to me. Every 3 weeks, you send an email. And the first paragraph is, I want to thank the following. I want to thank Joe and Tom and Sue and Mary for their help over the last few weeks. Now, maybe nobody helped you, but just pick some names out, because you're sending this out blind copies, so nobody knows who else is on there. But you're telling people that, oh, well, people are helping me, maybe I need to help too. The second paragraph is, as a reminder, I'm looking for a position as a project manager in the electronics field. Paragraph 3, if you know anyone who works at the following companies, Company A, Company B, Company C, please reach out to me. I'd love to have an introduction. And the very last paragraph is, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Short, sweet, to the point. If you're in sales, everybody here is in sales, that's the trick question. If you're in sales, if you're truly in sales, you know that it takes 4 to 7 touches before somebody's going to really remember who you are. If you've had people come and call on you, the first time a salespeople calls on you, yeah, no biggie. The second time, okay, well, they're consistent. Let's see if they show up the 3rd, the 4th, or the 5th time. And by then, yeah, you're willing to give them a chance because you've built a relationship with the person. Same thing here. The first time you send out this email, you may not hear anything. But the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th time, it will become more and more effective. Great tool, highly, highly, highly recommended. So we talk about networking on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of the month. You're welcome to join us. We have different experts. We've had 24, 25 different people talking about networking. Networking's all the same, but every speaker talks about it from a little bit different point of view. So please join us 2nd and 4th Thursday at 1 o'clock. Grab your lunch. I do these, at 1 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 o'clock Central Time. Grab your lunch, sit there, have your lunch, and listen and learn, lunch and learn with us. So here are all the speakers that we've had. I've actually a couple more faces I need to add to this, but we all talk about the same thing. I think Heidi, is Heidi on the call? She was on the call with us earlier. Heidi was one of our speakers who's been with us. So a couple little bonus things and we'll wrap up here. I've mentioned this a couple times. Go to visit our Career USA YouTube channel. We've got over 290 workshops recorded, LinkedIn, interviewing, resumes, networking, all the speakers from the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group that allow us to be recorded. On the Career USA YouTube channel, here's a screenshot. Click on playlist. Otherwise, if you don't, you're just going to see all the videos randomly up there in some odd order. But by clicking on playlist, every time I post a video, I will put it in a specific playlist. Networking, North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group leaders, LinkedIn, effective resumes, interviewing. So don't click on the video, but down where you see that purple arrow, click where it says view full playlist, and then up will come a list of all the different titles, dates, and topics. So you can go back and scroll down and find the exact topic that you're looking for. Another little thing I like to talk about, if you're not early, you're late. 5 minutes early is on time. I believe in that. If you're on time, you're late, because be respectful of those. You know, I'm sure for an interview, even though I'm hearing people are showing up late for interviews, there's no excuse for that. You know, be ready to go. Be with, you know, if you join this call 5 minutes early, you had a little time to say hi to people who are on the call. So please try, if you can, 5 minutes early, especially when we start meeting back in person again. Try to be at the event on time. Always include contact information in all of your emails. I get emails all the time and it just has their name on it. And if I want to reach out to them, I can't pick up the phone because I don't have their phone number. Now, yeah, I could probably go look it up. I may have it in my phone, but make it easy for somebody. Every email I send out, this is what you're going to see. My name, certified, I'm 6 Sigma Green Belt. I put my phone number, I put my email address in there just in case they can just click on that and it replies. It's like reply back. I put my LinkedIn profile. If they don't know who this Jeff Morse guy is, who's contacting them. I'm always promoting CareerDFW and Career USA. So every email, even if I reply to somebody, we're 10 back and forth 10 different times, that's going to be in there every time to tell me that. So just please remember, please join the CareerDFW and Career USA LinkedIn groups. Please follow us on Facebook. If you do that every time we go live, your phone will do a little jingle saying we're now live, and you can just pop us in on Facebook. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you do that, every time we post a new video, you'll get an alert. Especially, it's good if you're working and you're not able to watch, join us during the week. If you'd like to join the Career USA mailing list, if you're not getting our daily emails, please do so. You can send an email to subscribe@groups.io. You'll never be spammed, but what you will get is the title of the day, the topic of the day, and most importantly, the Zoom link of the day. That way you can just click on that, open that email, click on the Zoom link, and you're off and running. So just a really great way to join our mailing list, and it's an easy way to find out what's going on. If you're already part of another mailing list, that's great. But if you're not getting it anyplace else, please do so. So that's me. If you're looking for a speaker, I'm willing to come talk to your career group. Please reach out to me, webmaster@careerdfw.org, or calendar, or groups, or Jeff, whatever, anything you send to careerdfw.org, I will get. There's my email. Whoop, let me get out of the way here. There's my there's that email address again at the very bottom. If you're interested in buying a book, you can get it on Amazon for $15, but if you happen to see me in person, I have them for $10 a piece. And I really appreciate time. If anybody has any questions, be glad to, let's open it up, and you're welcome to ask away. Questions?
Anyone have questions for Jeff?
Well, I appreciate it. Hopefully y'all learned something, take something away, and have a great Monday and a good Valentine's Day.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you very much for your time and expertise today. And I wish you a great week. And so we appreciate your time today. For those of you that may be new to Fort Worth Christian Church Network, we always end our meeting with a devotional and a word of prayer. And today our devotional comes from Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 through 9. And they read this way. It says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say, I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. Now, what is significant about the scriptures, not only just the words itself, which these words are very powerful, but it's where the writing of this actually occurred. Paul was in prison at the time that he wrote the book of Philippians. And I've actually had the privilege of being in that prison. And I'll try to show a picture of it now, or let's go back to Zoom where I can share. I will share you, so what you're going to see on the screen, it'll allow me to, is that these are photos of the Mammartine prison. So this is where Paul was at when he wrote this book, and he's talking about rejoicing and about prayer and petition. And the deal is, this prison was underground. For those of you who don't know, Rome was built on a swamp. And so actually, when I was visited this prison back in 2011, was actually down in the bottom is very wet, moist. It's just, it's cold. It's just not a very pleasant environment. And in fact, you will see in the picture on the right, there's a little hole in the ceiling. That's the only source of light into the prison down below. And the only light that gets to that hole is what comes through the double doors. That's on the top floor that you see there in the picture in the lower left. So this was where Paul was writing us. And he's writing, rejoice in the Lord always. And so, and he talks about, don't be anxious about anything. So regardless of your circumstances, where even if it's in prison, he says, don't be anxious about things, but in every situation, lay your request for God with thanksgiving, and present your requests to God. And he says, then the peace of God, which transcends understanding. In other words, when you do this, God will give you a peace that from all circumstances, you should not be at peace. And what do most people want in life? They want peace. And so Paul is writing this so that even in our most difficult circumstances, God can give us peace when from all human perspectives, we should not be at peace. But then he goes on and he talks about what we should be thinking. And oftentimes, when we're in job search, what becomes very apparent is what we're missing, what we don't have. But what Paul is talking to us, he says, what I want you to focus on are the things that are true, on the things that are noble, on the things that are right, on the things that are pure, on the things that are lovely, on the things that are admirable. Those are the things that we need to be thinking about. So it's a battle of the mind. And that's one thing I when I speak to job seekers, I say it's not your resume, it's not your LinkedIn profile, it's the battle above the neck. If you can win the battle between the ears, that is where you have the biggest battle, is winning that battle. And so it's an act of the will. And that's what Paul is talking about here is whatever situation we find ourselves, lay it before God with thanksgiving. And that God not only can come to our aid, but he can give us that peace and that assurance that he hears us and that he can bring about, what needs to happen in our life. So I encourage you, to read at this. And oftentimes we can have the we can have that mentality of what have you done for me lately, But I think too is what, as Paul was talking about here, about reminding us what to think about is look at your past life. How has God helped you in past situations, in past issues? I can look back over my life and see how time and time again, how God has met my need. Some of it was actually literally saving my life. Or it may have been a healing. I was in a motorcycle accident when I was 18 and came very close to being paralyzed and was in extreme pain. And then miraculously, in the middle of a church service one Sunday evening, the pain just left me. My vertebrae are as compressed as they ever were, but the pain, I've not had any pain since then. And so I can look back at that and say, when I'm in a current trial, I can look back, okay, God helped me in that situation. He can help me in this one. And I think that's what Paul's wanting about it is look back at how God has helped you in past times and know that you still serve the same God. And the God that helped you last time, he's the same God who will help you this time. And so as I encourage every week is commit your job search to God and allow him to work on your behalf, to give you the wisdom you need, the direction, the guidance, and the peace to be able to walk out the road that's in front of you, to bring it to a successful conclusion. So with that, we'll close in prayer, and I hope all of you have a great week this week. So Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time. We thank you for Jeff and his willingness to commit his life to helping people in job search. Lord, I just pray your blessing over him and his ministry. And I pray, God, for each person here looking for work, Lord, that you would guide and direct them. You would give them your wisdom, supernaturally drop thoughts into their minds of things they need to know, things they need to do, bring people across their path that can give them guidance and direction, and can even make them aware of the opportunity that you have for them. And I pray, God, for each person that you will, during this time, you will sustain them, you will provide for them, but also that you will bring them to the job that's right for them, and not just any job, not just a paycheck, but Lord, a job they will truly enjoy and people that they will truly enjoy working with and working for. So Father, we commit this to you in your name. Amen. So thank you for everyone. Thank you for Ralph for being here today, and for Shannon, great having you here for the first time. But once again, we meet every Monday at 9 o'clock here at North Forward Baptist Church. So if any of you online, if are close, you're welcome to join us. I'd be happy to shake your hand, that type of thing. But if not, then we appreciate you joining via Zoom, and we hope that you found our meeting to be beneficial to your job search today. So with that, we wish all of you well and have a great week. So it should be warmer than last week. So let's enjoy. So goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.